She walked into the shooting range wearing no makeup, no flashy gear, and no confidence in her appearance, just quiet purpose. Her outfit was simple. Her bag looked older than anyone else's rifle case, and her shoes squeaked slightly as she stepped across the polished concrete floor. Nobody paid attention. Conversations continued, guns fired, and laughter echoed. At the front counter, the young man barely glanced up. "This range is for advanced shooters," he said lazily. She slid a signed waiver across the table. "I'm aware," she said with a polite smile. The moment he noticed her name, he paused, almost like something clicked, but the pause vanished, replaced with a smirk. Behind her, a group of men chuckled. "Let her try," one of them joked. "Maybe we'll finally see someone worse than Raiden." That was a name everyone in the building knew. The undefeated champion who made sure everyone else knew it too. He was there that day, polishing his rifle and flirting with a reporter. When he spotted her, he offered a slow clap and said, "Hope you brought a beginner's guide." At booth 7, she unzipped her worn leather bag, revealing a handgun with history etched into its metal. This was no factory pistol. This was something built, customized, and cared for by someone who knew its soul. As she gently loaded her first round, her eyes seemed to change. Gone was the humble woman, and in her place stood someone with precision carved into her bones. Her fingers moved automatically, like they had done this 1,000 times before. She wasn't nervous. She wasn't excited. She was home. Flashbacks flickered across her mind. Military training fields, long hours on windswept ranges, applause from instructors, medals placed over a soldier's heart. She had once been known as Dead-Eyed Daniels, until she left the uniform behind and disappeared from every spotlight. And yet, here she was again, stepping back into a world that had forgotten her. She didn't come to prove anyone wrong. She came because it was time. Her first shot rang out like thunder. Not because it was loud, but because it silenced everything else. The scoreboard blinked, 10.9, a perfect center. For full 5 seconds, nobody said a word. Then came the whispers. Then the gasps. She fired again, 10.9. A third time, again dead center. The digital monitor beeped and flashed. New record. 32.6. The champion's long-standing mark had just been destroyed by someone no one noticed walking in. Cameras turned. Phones came out. Raiden's confident swagger turned into a stiff shuffle. The girl they had dismissed as not belonging had just rewritten the rules. She removed her earmuffs calmly, packed her pistol, and turned to leave. But now, they were all looking at her, the way they should have from the beginning. Raiden tried to recover. He picked up his rifle, fired off 3 rounds in frustration. 2 hit wide, 1 grazed the border. He blamed the light, the recoil, the target alignment. But everyone knew what had happened. He wasn't rattled by wind or noise. He was rattled by her. Meanwhile, she sat alone at a bench, drinking from a steel thermos, completely unbothered. A young man approached her and stammered, Who are you?" She looked at him, then looked back at the range. Just someone who stopped showing up when people stopped looking. The media frenzy exploded. Headlines began rolling out. Unknown woman breaks champion's record, Raiden dethroned by silent shooter. She received calls from news outlets, shooting federations, even old military contacts. Her name was trending now, but she ignored most of it. That wasn't why she came. The next day, she returned, same clothes, same bag, same quiet walk to booth 7. But this time, the staff greeted her differently. They didn't question her. They nodded. They respected her. As she set up her gear, a little girl next to her struggled to aim. The woman gently walked over, adjusted her stance, and whispered, "It's not about how loud your shot is. It's about how still you can be." Then she returned to her lane. The sun outside was beginning to set, casting soft light through the high windows. She loaded 1 round, closed one eye, inhaled, held, fired. Perfect again. But this time, the silence wasn't surprised. It was reverent. She hadn't come to beat anyone. She came to remind them of what true focus looks like, and that legends don't wear medals. Sometimes they wear silence.